Let's learn MuleSoft. Today I will show you how to retry exceptions both in a scheduled way and in an immediate retry mode. Let's start with code. So here you see few things. You see that the last three files are named differently. I've used CRC16 to create a short form of the project, and I use this as a unique identifier for instead of putting in the whole string, I replace it with just these four characters, a short form. Each project of mine will have this as a unique identifier. The config files have this, the properties within the config file has this, and the flows have them. The reason being, you will have something to identify the project that you are importing as a library in other Mule projects. Let's test this. So now you see there the retry has not occurred, and now the retry has occurred and it has given you a correlation ID. Every 10 seconds the retry is going to occur. There is a scheduler which is set to 10 seconds frequency, and you see that it is picking up the message from queue and it is processing that message. The payload structure is so shown, the retry count is shown, the correlation ID is shown, and I'm highlighting the interval of 10 seconds so that you can clearly view that. After 5 retry attempts, the retry gets exhausted and it exits. This number is configurable. Let me show you some flows. So this is the HTTP listener flow where you get to retry. There is it's completely made out of flow references, a flow reference to randomly generate errors, a transform message which prints out that the retry is not occurring and the retry is occurring, so on. Then a flow reference to initialize the retry and a flow reference where the message gets put into a queue. It's all made of flow reference so that you don't have to think of any implementation logic, and you can just invoke it by giving the flow name. Now I have invoked the get method of that endpoint, and you will see that this new data type which is an empty string, is also accepted. Previously, a string was accepted, and you will see that in future instances, XML, JSON, and all instances of a data type are accepted because I have used DW as the um, output format. Application slash DW as the output format. See that I'm highlighting the retry count and also the interval in seconds. So it is taking 10-second interval between two retries, and a maximum of 5 retries are available. Here I demo another data type use. Notice the use of correlation ID. And the same correlation ID is getting passed around. Application slash XML, application slash JSON. All of these data types are allowed, and the structure does not matter. Since this is a generic solution, the structure does not matter. This is a scheduled retry, and we need a scheduled retry because it does not make sense to retry something which has failed, and an immediate retry is not always useful. You have to at least give it a few seconds for the thing that caused the issue to resolve itself. So here is the flow that causes the errors randomly. I've given a 30% chance of creating the errors. That is the reason when I refresh or invoke the endpoint, sometimes it causes errors and sometimes it does not, because it has a random nature. So you see that now it is not creating, and now it has. Some more examples of the different data types being accepted into the application. Each and every time that I invoke this flow, it fails at each and every time. That's because I have used an application that always fails by using a raise error component. There is not much logic into that flow. It has a logger component and then a raise error component. Let's look at the flows. So here is the one where I initialize the retry. That is, I set the retry count as 0 and the UUID is being set. The request payload is set. The output I'm using is DW to handle all sorts of data types. And after that, I call uh, a flow which puts the message into a retry queue, into two retry queues actually, based on some logic. Since it has caused an error, I feel that it is necessary to delay the transaction either by a few milliseconds or any other duration, which is also configurable. That is why you see a sleep command followed by a choice to put the message into one of the two retry queues. The reason for two retry queues will become evident in the further video. I use a modulus operator to decide which queue the message has to fall into. Alright, now this is a scheduled flow where the scheduler pushes a message into a queue, a trigger queue, and the expression used to decide the queue is as shown on screen, where at every 10 seconds it switches between the queues. This switching nature is the reason between the delay. The delay between the first retry and the second retry is only due to the switching nature, and we have two trigger queues as well as two retry queues. I'll show you something interesting. So notice that log exception has been disabled for on continue. So for on continue, on error continue scope, I have disabled logging the exception VM timeout. I'll now show you how this mule application can be used as a library. So you see that this uh, project does not have any implementation. So that's the short form or CRC16 code, and I have used that in the flow name and in the config name. So let me show you another project. Yeah. So here is the dependency of the library. This flow only has logic that invokes the subflow in the dependent library. I'll show that to you. So see the difference in the CRC16 code, which makes it clear which flows belong to which application. Look at the import statement. The import statement allows you to import some flows from another dependent library into this project. So I have imported all the necessary files from the dependent library into this main project. This is a log of the changes that I have made. I'm trying to find the point of time where I switch from immediate retry to a scheduled retry. Okay, so I can see that I've added the feature to. I usually separate the commits that I do based on some grouping logic, and that grouping logic is a feature. 01, 02, 03 are each an individual feature, so that I can switch between them easily. I don't have to make sense out of the individual commits. Instead, I look at the groups. Yeah. So you see that the change applied to the Git master is now showing you different files. This is now code that applies to immediate retry. 5 retries happen immediately, one after the other, within a few milliseconds. It's all the same code as before. Publishing now happens to one queue instead of two. This is not a code that I am happy about. This is a code that I have worked on for one day and it's in a usable state. In case you are planning to use this code, work on it some more. I have now installed the jar file to my local Maven repository, and now I should package it into the main project which uses the dependency. Forget about the errors that are visible in the studio, Anypoint Studio. Anypoint Studio takes some time to understand that the dependency has changed. The code within the dependency has changed. Since the deployment failed through Maven, I have to now look at the git log and pull out code that applies to immediate retry. reset master to this and make the changes to the working tree as well. All right, and now when I switch to the studio, you see how the CRC16 was changed to the actual full name of the project followed by the name of the flows. This is why I'm using CRC16 as a shortcut or a short name, because I want to avoid writing the whole the name of the project every place. Okay, using the browser now to create errors. You see that error was not created. All right, now the error is created. If you look at the browser, if you look at the console, the timestamps will show you within the same second the retries have occurred and they have exhausted. 5 retries happen immediately, one after the other. Okay, this is a link to my code repository. I'm now moving into mule ESB, the folder structure or repo name as mule ESB. Here you will find my code where I started writing in Mule 3, then I moved to Mule 4. It's more than 2 years old. So these are the projects which I have worked on and which are available in this repo. And the latest one is the one which downloads all the log files from CloudHub. Here is a link to my blog post, which I have not updated since Feb of 2021. So ignore that it does not have an updated page, but it has links and categories where you can select a particular technology and it will only show you pages of or blog posts from that technology. And when you click on a particular link, such as part 3, HTTP endpoint connectors and script transformer, it will give you more information on that, along with some pictures. If you find this useful, then subscribe to it or bookmark this page.